So, experiment number 4. Forces and motion. Kuya Wilmar, pabasa nga po objectives.
Okay po. Hello. So for our
Yes.
objectives is number 1, investigate the relationship between force acting on an object and that object's motions. Then for number 2, predict the motion of an object. So continue lang. So for introduction, you and some friends are at the park. You find some rope and decide you like to play a game of tug of war. Unfortunately, there are 5 people, so you can have an equal amount of people on each side. One of your friends suggests that the 2 biggest people should be on one side, while the 3 smaller people should be on the other side. Do you think this is the fair way to split up teams? Why or why not? Continue. So for our answer, it is not fair because we base on PET simulations using 2 largest people on one side and the 3 smaller people on the opposite side. It will be unbalanced like in the picture. So this will be left side with large force be able to pull the rope on their side and win even thought they only have 2 people on their side.
Yan. So, nag-provide na po kami with pictures, miss. For next question, what causes object to move or stay still? Kuya Jack, pabasa nga po natin.
What objects to move or stay still? Force is the one that causes an object to move. When we apply force on an object, its tendency is to affect the motion. We all know that the force is a push or pull that we exert on an object. So when we disregard force, the moving object will continue to move while an object at rest will remain at rest.
So, for procedures, task 1, ang una pong picture, same size and same placement of ropes. So, ang ginamit dito, Yubs, dalawang smallest na nasa second knot. Yan. Ngayon, we will predict the movement. Igo mo na nga.
Game 1, 2, 3, go.
Yan. So, wala nangyari. So, our answer po is the predictive movement, the group's predicted movement is that it will not move. Kasi pareho lang po sila na ng mass and force. Then, actual movement is none po and the sum of force is 0. Task 2, Leonard pa, nga. Naka-off mic ka, Leonard,
Task 2. A. Place 2 people that are the same size, different distances away from the cart. B. Make a prediction about the movement of the cart. C. After you have observed the actual movement, click on the sum of the forces box at the top right-hand corner of the simulation. Record the number in the data chart. Dun po sa unang pick, same size, different displacement on rope, different placement on rope, predictive movement. The group's predicted movement was to the right. Actual movement, none. Sum of forces 0.
Jace.
Nakamute. Jace, nakamute ka.
Yung red sa pang-apat, Yuval, then yung blue na sa pang-una. Yan. So, prediction natin, right. Pero pag try ka. Go.
Wala nagbago.
Yan. So, wala nagbago. So, yung, kahit magkaiba, basta pareho sila ng size, kahit saang lugar sila, parehas lang ang force nila, push and pull. So for the task 3, same lang din. Yung kaso ang different size na siya pero same placement on rope. So blue, yung yung medium sa yan, third. Then yung yung sa red, yung smaller. Dun sa third Yan.
Ganyan.
So ang answer po namin, Miss, is the group's predict movement was the bigger man or the blue would probably pull the cart on his side and win. So go na. Yan. So the actual movement is to the left po, Miss, and po, as you can see po in the simulation, the sum of forces is 100 and to the left, x left. So for task 4, Kuya Wilmer, paano nga po?
Okay, so for the task 4, so letter A, place the two people that are different sizes, different distance away from the cart. So yung sa blue, yung pinakamalaki. Then yung sa red ay yung maliit sa pangatlo. So letter B, make a predictions about the movement on the cart. After you have observed the actual movement, click on the sum of the force box at the top and right hand corner of simultaneous record the number of the cart. So for the group's predict movement was the bigger man blue would probably pull the cart on his side left and win. So for actual movement, so motion with yung movement is from the left po. Then the sum of force po niya is same din po, is 100 and x to the left po.
Tama, kuya. Jace.
Nakamute, Jace.
So move on to the next question. What causes object to move or stay still? Kuya Jack, basa nga mo. Tama po ba yung claim po natin?
Yung
Yung what causes the objects to move or stay still po?
the causes for a object to move or stay still is because of the forces that was exerted in the object. For the object to move, we need to use force like pushing and pulling. To make it still, we should not exert force to it. An example is from the simulation. When two men with the same size have the same or different distance, the cart will not move. But if the two men have different size and have the same or different distance, the cart will move where the force is stronger.
So we put an evidence po dun, Miss, picture. So analysis, question, reasoning. Give an example of balance force. With the word balance, Miss, we understand that there should be two objects with an equal amount of mass and force acting in both directions, but there is no change in the speed or acceleration. So next is give an example of unbalanced force. Leonard, pabasa nga.
With the word unbalance, we can determine that there is an equal amount of mass or force present on the two bodies in both directions. One force is greater to the other force and it results into the greater one being able to pull the opposing side to his own.
So next, true or false? Balanced force cause a change in motion. So ang sa natutunan po namin sa simulation, balanced force causes change in motion is false. So, ano po, how do you know this? Our answer po is false because balanced force do not cause motion to change. The object will remain still if the forces performing on it are balanced. Having balanced force means force that occurs when two equal size force act in the opposite direction of an object. Next question, Kuya Wilmar po.
True or false, unbalanced, tama ba? Unbalanced force cause change in motion. So for our answer po is true. So how do we know this? So true, unbalanced forces induce a shift in momentum. A force of given to stationary object in an even force may cause it to move. It may change directions, spend or stop moving.
So, now that you had a chance to experiment with the simulation, go back to the question at the beginning of the investigation. What do you think would be the best way to divide your friends for the game of tug of war? Be sure to explain your reasoning, provide the evidence. So, Miss, so thanks to the simulator, the group divide the 5 men into 2 groups in balance. So we paired the biggest man with the second smaller man at the right side, which is the right horse, and the other side consists of 2 small men, and group them with the second bigger man at the left side or the left horse. Then when the simulation started, the force became 0 and that means that it is now balanced. Yubs, yung pinakamalaking red nandun sa pangalawa, tas yung yung maliit na sa unahan. Yeah.
Ah.
Yung maliit na red nasa unahan.
Ang blue.
Yung blue, hindi yung biggest one, yung yung medium lang. Yan. Nasa third. Tas yung dalawang smaller, yan nalalisa. So, start the simulation. So, yun po, Miss, 0 force balance. So, for the last question, Leonard, paano nga?
What questions in the investigations do you have after using this simulation? What if one team consists of one biggest man and then one medium-sized man play against one biggest man and 2 smallest men? Devise an experiment of your own using the simulation that helps to answer your question.
So, naglagay po kami ng picture and for the conclusion na po, the group's conclusion is that motion can be predicted by determining the larger force in direction. If we have already determined the larger force, then we can also determine the direction of the object or where will it go. So that is all po. Please, thank you. And
Thank you po.
Thank you, Miss. Dismiss ka na, pre.
Thank you po, miss.
Ayun po.
end na ng recording.
Okay na, tol. Pag na-end ko na, tol, ano nangyayari?
Ano masasave yan sa tips? Tapos ako na magda-download.
Iintayin ko pa o automatic na to? Diretso na ba to?
Ongoing recording pa rin.
Pero naka-dismiss ka na dito yung recording eh.
Stop mo muna yung recording.